Good morning. You're watching Much Ado About Something, and I'm Donna. Well, today's day 22 of Vlogmas, and you know what that means. It means only 3 days left until Christmas. Happy Vlogmas, day 22. The grandkids are in there with Grandpa. They're watching a Christmas movie. They're going to be watching Christmas movies for the next few days, probably. I'm in here making the Advent tea. It's a little later in the day. This is day 22. Here it is. Ellie's already opened it. She was excited about it. She wanted to help me make it, but then she ran off. Of course, I'm using the Merry Christmas cup because I'm taking every advantage that I can to make Christmas merry, to enjoy what's left of Christmas. It'll be gone before you know it. Well, yesterday I did a Vlogmas 20, a day 21, and I had a technicality error, and I accidentally deleted my whole video. A 41-minute video yesterday for Vlogmas day 21. So I don't know if I'll be able to remake something similar to that. I certainly won't be able to redo the tea. So I am just out day 21. But today's day 22. Yesterday was the first day of winter, and I love winter. I have always loved winter. I have never grieved for a second because it's winter. I have always loved it. And I love it because it's a rest time. Well, it's a rest time concerning some chores. Now, growing up, we always heated with wood. So, in the winter, it was a little bit of work to keep a wood stove going. Of course, we cut the wood in the spring and the summer before the winter got there. But it's just wood, work and going and bringing wood in and keeping a wood stove going. I never minded doing it because the rewards were always great. Yeah, the rewards of keeping a fire stoked and keeping everything burning was always wonderful because you got the benefits of the good, live, warm heat that came from that. And that was just wonderful. I always loved the smell. I've heard some people that didn't like the smell because they thought it was irritating or whatever, but I always loved the smell of a wood stove. I always loved winter because it just feels like it's a time to stay indoors. You can't do as much outside, and you can get outside, indoors, and you can just cuddle up and fix good things to eat, which brings me to our hot pot. Our hot pot is right here, and today it's soup. I've got soup going in. Delicious soup. Made from things out of the refrigerator. There's onions, peppers, chicken, corn, green beans, cabbage, a few carrots. Not many carrots, but a few carrots. I could use with more carrots in there. I'm going to cut this lemon up. Put some lemon in the tea. It's good to add citrus, especially in the winter time when there's a lot of sicknesses and things going on. The citrus, is extra vitamin C. It's always great. I'm going to let this steep for a little bit, and then we're going to taste it. It's an Earl Grey. I forgot to let you know what kind of tea it was. It's just the black tea. It smelled like a plain Earl Grey. And that's one of my favorites, so that's absolutely great and wonderful for me. Now, it's about 3:30. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon. It's not early. It's not early in the morning. I've had grandchildren today. I have had to go out to I went to Sam's Club today and a few places and got some things for Christmas. If you've watched my channel, I've been a little bit behind this year. I haven't been on top of everything. I haven't got everybody's gifts, or I didn't have everything wrapped. But I think I've got most everything My husband always makes sausage balls for Christmas. The kids love the sausage balls, and when he doesn't make them, people really miss them. So he's going to make sausage balls. We have homemade sausage, but you never know how that's going to turn out with sausage balls, because homemade sausage has a little bit more fat content than what you buy at the grocery store. So he always likes to use grocery store sausage just to make them more consistent. So we'll have to go pick up more sausage from the grocery store so he can make those. And there's one or two little things that we're going to have to pick up, and then we'll be all set. We really pushed it to the last minute, didn't we? Almost to the last minute here. Just today's the 22nd, 3 more days, and it'll be Christmas Day. And then we'll be celebrating and enjoying it, and then it'll all be over just like that. A month of planning and running around and trying to get everything together, and it's just over really quickly. I have some tips to help you get through that. When you take down your Christmas decorations, I'd like to share those with you. One of the days this week, hopefully on a video, I can just show you some things that you can do that will help you if you're one of those people that gets sad when the Christmas decorations are taken down and the place feels naked and it feels dark because you've had all those Christmas lights up, and then all of a sudden you don't have them anymore. I've got a few tips to help you with that. I'll hopefully show you that in the next few days and share that with you, that'll maybe help you. Yeah, I was talking about winter and how I've always loved it. You know, I've always loved the rain. There's a lot of people that get sad when it's raining. I always love the rain. I always think, wow, everything needs water. Everything needs the rain. Oh, this tea with this lemon. It smells exceptionally delicious at this time of the day. Whatever cup that you like to drink, whether that be coffee, tea, hot chocolate, whatever it is, take the time to enjoy it because it's so delicious. I think maybe I want a sprig of rosemary or something delicious added to this tea. I do still have my little rosemary tree right here that I got from Home Depot. I think I'll just take a sprig of it and add it to my tea. We get snow occasionally here. I've got some pictures of the last snow, and they were beautiful. There were red cardinals that were still out. You know, a lot of people think that all birds fly south. All birds do not fly south in every place. There are plenty of birds left here when the winter comes, and they are beautiful when they're out there eating, and it's winter time and they're against a white snowy background. It doesn't snow every year. It didn't snow last year, but when it does, we enjoy it, and it's beautiful. And they do call schools off, and you know, being in North Carolina, a lot of people think, wow, they make such a big deal out of everything when it snows. They call schools off, and you know, up north we don't do that. I don't know where you live. I don't know how your situation is there. But they say, you know, it can be a foot of snow and we're still out there clearing the sidewalks and the kids are still going to school. There is a difference in northern snow and southern snow. Northern snow is typically drier. It's a dry snow. Southern snow is a wet snow. What happens in the south is it'll warm up and your snow will melt. It'll cause a thin glaze ice over roads if it's not very much snow, and it becomes very dangerous. There's a lot of accidents. People are sliding and gliding, and like I said, it may or may not snow, so people may or may not be prepared for that kind of weather. And then it'll freeze back up and thaw out, unthaw and freeze back up, and so it's not just snow. It's this really strange and dangerous snow and ice combination that happens, and that's why they call schools off, and people typically just stay in and stay off the roads as much as they can because it becomes very hazardous. and it's not the same kind of snow, and that's the reason there's a difference. Of course, you know, you all hear stories where if they call for snow, even if it's just a little flurry, everybody will run to the grocery store and buy all the bread and buy all the milk. And that's true. That really happens here in the South. People do. They run and buy all the milk. And not so much in the mountains. I think when we were more in the mountains growing up, people just made sure they had what they needed for the winter in general anyway. And they didn't run to the store every time they said it would snow when I was growing up. But as I got older and, you know, my married life, that surely has become a reality. That's a true story. Everybody does run to the store and buy bread and milk if they're calling for snow. Well, it's been a wonderful year. There has been ups and downs this year, but it's been a wonderful year, and I'm looking forward to the new year. Now, there's a lot of things going on that I can't control, and a lot of things in the world that's way beyond my control that I can only make wise decisions about when it comes time for me to vote and decide, and I can pray about. But there are many things that are way beyond my control in life, and so I have long since quit worrying about things that are not in my control. I am trying to do the absolutely best I can do every day to the people that I love in my household first, to my friends and family, and then in life, in my community, and in the world in general. But there is only so much we can do. Now, you've probably been told the sky's the limit. It's limitless what you can do. And I think that's true for a certain percentage of people. It is not true for the majority. You are limited by many things. And you know that as well as I know that. But it's not to lose hope in, because there's much life and much joy in the simple things of life. I truly believe that. And I have been trying to enjoy life every day that I possibly can. And that's what I'll continue to do. I'll continue to do that, is enjoy my life every day and do the best that I can. But I absolutely love winter. I have always loved winter. I am a book reader. And when it becomes winter time, there are times that I can sit down and read a book that I cannot do in the summer. Now, I'm a gardener. I absolutely love to garden. I'm already thinking about my garden. I'm already planning my garden. I love to garden. I absolutely love it. And that garden calls me from the time it's the start to plant that thing. When it's time for me to start the seeds inside and I'm starting to plan what I want in the garden, that garden calls to me, and it will do that all spring and all summer. And I will be out there as much as I possibly can, not only in my flower beds up front, my perennial little herb garden that I've got. If you watched my shows and you've watched some of my gardening shows, then you can see my flowers. I've had some beautiful flowers, my angel trumpets, and just wildflowers that Donald and I have gathered over the years and planted in our gardens. They've got prolific, and they've gotten to be bigger mounds, and so they're in the garden as the seasons, as the months and times of the garden goes by, and at every time of the year except winter. And I have had some things blooming in winter, and I've shared those with you here on my channel. Or well, not quite winter, it was fall, but late into fall I had some beautiful things that were still trying to bloom. So I've got a lot of ideas and a lot of energy and a lot of plans and things for the upcoming garden in the spring. I want to be more prepared. I want to pay closer attention to the little yield. I want to increase the yield from our little backyard vegetable garden that Donald and I started a few years ago. We started doing the no dig, no till method. I always want to change that and say no tig. What is tigging? I don't know. But it's the no dig, no till method by Charles Dowding. I shared with you in my top 5 books that I would recommend to a homesteader or to someone that just seeks knowledge to have a garden, a little bit of self-sufficiency in their life. I have shared my top 5 books. That's in my on my channel, if you search that, my top 5 book recommendations, you will see Charles Dowding's book is one of his books is in that top 5. It's the no dig till method, and I love it, and I have been doing that. Donald and I have been practicing that for the last 2 years, and we have been astounded. The first year was by far the best gardening year. Well, maybe it had to be either the best or a runner-up for the best gardening year that we've ever had. And we've been at this house, it will be 40 years in July. So we've been here for a long time. We've had beautiful gardens the whole time. From the time we moved in and started those gardens, we've expanded them, and there's been beautiful things growing in our garden for 4 decades. We've really enjoyed it here. But one of the best gardens, I think I have shared this story with you before, was when I went to the quarry. They were giving away free dirt. I decided I would drive Donald's old Chevy truck, and I would get in that and go and get a load of that free dirt. Well, I didn't realize how heavy that dirt was going to be, and they loaded that Chevrolet up, and that thing was just tilted like this. The bed was right way down here, but I was able to get that thing home. I was able to get that truckload of that good quarry dirt that they had dug from way down in the quarry bed, and so it was rich in minerals, and it was excellent. It was an excellent addition to our garden. Now, I don't know of since that they've given any of that free dirt away. I haven't heard that they were giving it away anymore, or I certainly would have went and got more. But I fishtailed and weaved that big load of dirt on back to the house here and put it in one of our back gardens. And it was the best garden that we had ever had. And the taste of the cucumbers and the tomatoes was excellent. Now, this no dig, no till method that we've used after reading Charles Dowding's book on that and putting that into effect out here into our own little back garden 2 years ago. This will be the 3rd year this year that we've had that. Oh, it is the second runner. It is equal to or a little better. And the whole idea behind that no dig, no till method is you disturb the soil as little as possible, because there are microbes and living things in the soil that you don't want to continually be tilling and disturbing and killing on a regular basis. There are wonderful things that help your plants, and so the no dig, no till method actually just adds compost and adds delicious ingredients to the soil and to those microbes, and it produces beautiful, bigger, wonderful plants and vegetables, fruits and vegetables. And so we're looking forward to that, starting that again. Now, I've got to decide what am I going to grow. I'm limited in space. We're between a quarter and a third of an acre here in the city on this little lot, and so we don't have a lot of land. We're not challenged with a huge amount of space to grow a lot. We can't grow our own corn really. We could grow a few stalks, but we really couldn't grow our own corn to get enough to really freeze and feed. We could grow a few stalks that we could add to dishes, and that's about it. So we have to plan carefully about what are we going to put in our space. Now, I always make space for medicinal herbs. Donald and I forage. We forage for herbs and wildflowers and fruits and berries and different things on family's land. We do forage. We gather medicinal herbs that we can't get anywhere else, that grow prolifically around the areas where we grew up, and we practice our family's traditions and our family's teachings and things that we grew up hearing and knowing, and it was just a part of life. Me and Donald still practice those things and use them on a regular basis. So we have those things also grow in here on our property. We have our elderberries, our original elderberry plant. I actually did purchase that from, I cannot even remember where I purchased that. It was from some catalog that was selling elderberry bushes. So we did purchase one elderberry bush, and it was very inexpensive. I want to say it was probably $9. And then all of the other elderberries that we have in our backyard, and they are all black elderberries, because that's the best kind of elderberries to use when you're making elderberry syrup. That stimulates the immune system, does great things for your body. So we bought the elderberry bush that's in the front yard, and we foraged all of the ones in the back that are near our vegetable garden. So we forage some things on family's land, and we grow some things, and then we depend on buying from farmers markets, other things. We were able to buy a fig tree, a little fig tree, and I hope that I have put it in the right place, because I know that they get very big. I was trying to think about its soil recommendations and the amount of sun that it would get, and the best place on the property to put this little fig tree. And we did plant it out front near our elderberry bush, not too close to it, but near it. And I realized that that thing is going to get pretty big, and so I'm hoping that I didn't put it too close to the house, and that I didn't that I accounted for the end result in size that fig tree is going to have. But we're looking forward to seeing the things we planted last year grow, and I've got some things on my wish list this year. We'll see if we get those. If you've saw my little tulips that have come back year after year, I think I only have like 4 or 5 tulips. Now, I had multiple daffodils. I had mounds of daffodils all around the front yard. But over the years, I have not divided those or really dug those up and did what I needed to do to take care of them, for them to propagate as much as I have in the past years. And so I noticed some of the daffodils did not come up last spring. And I'm thinking it's probably because they're too deep. We add compost and mulch, at least once a year out here to our front flower beds. And I'm thinking that those things are too deep for them to come up and bloom like they're supposed to. So me and my husband might have to one day get out there and find those mounds of daffodils and dig them all up and separate them and plant them closer to the surface, so that they can, grow to their full potential there in our garden. I used to have all of the flower beds lined with daffodils, and it was beautiful in the spring. But I've not had as many. I may have something that was eating them too. I know that deer won't eat daffodils. We do have deer here in the city, but I think that it may have been something underground that ate my daffodil bulbs, because some of them didn't come back at all, and that's very rare. But I'm just going to concentrate and do the best I can with what I have. I don't want to make a lot of new additions, because I've been here for quite a while, and I don't really have the space to add a lot of new plants. So I'm really trying to be considerate of what I have on my list and what I'm going to add. And all of that's coming up. All the garden seasoning will be coming up here, and we'll be able to share and talk about all the great things that's going to happen this year in our garden. That always excites me. I know everything is at rest out there today. I know those gardens are at rest, and they're still alive. They're just asleep, and that they'll wake up during the spring, and it'll be beautiful. And of course, I look forward to that. Now, I did share with you a couple of days ago that the trellis, we had strong winds. It knocked our power out. It knocked trees out. It was a pretty rough storm as far as just strong winds go. And so it knocked over the beautiful peace rose that I had that was almost to the top of the house. So it was very tall. And then we had the jasmine growing around the base of that, the Carolina jasmine, which was yellow. It was just beautiful, and it looked good against the house. But the wind took it down and broke off that. And so Donald cut that down. And so I'll have to be, I will miss that. I will miss that in spring when that's not blooming. But I'm checking to just see if there's like a piece of it that's going to come back, the jasmine, to see if there'll be anything that comes up from the ground where it broke off, and see what comes of that. If nothing comes up, that'll be okay, because gardens are ever changing, aren't they? They're ever changing, whether you plan to change them or whether they change on their own because of the circumstances around them. And that's one of the exciting things I like about gardening, just like I like about making a fresh pot of soup, that you pull things out of your refrigerator or your cupboard and you make it. And it's a different recipe every time because you're using what you have. The garden's the same. I never know how the garden's going to turn out, because some things that did great last year may not even barely make a dent in the garden this year, but something else might jump up and in its place or in near it, it'll grow and it'll be more beautiful than it was last year. So it's an ever-changing thing that goes on in that garden, and that excites me. I love that. I love that it's not the exact same way every year. It's just surprises me every year. Well, we've got all of that to look forward to. We've got all the gardening, and we've got all of the holidays that we're going to make it through, and then it'll be a new year, a new fresh start, and that's always exciting, isn't it? A little sad, but a little more exciting to me. I don't know if you like fall or winter or spring or summer better, but if you'd like to let me know in the comments, I'd be glad to hear that. I would be interested to hear what season you actually like the best, because I think it differs with a lot of people. Now, I love fall. Fall has to be my absolutely favorite season because of the colors and the magnitude of the colors. And if you've been to the mountains or you were raised in the mountains, there is nothing quite like fall, because everything turns a beautiful crimson, orange, yellow, light browns in the first few weeks of fall, and by the third or fourth week you've got a peak fall color, and then it's over as soon as it started. One day you might ride up or go through the mountains and everything is brown and it becomes a winter landscape. Now, I love the winter landscape because you've got all those beautiful tree forms, all the leaves are gone, you just have the evergreens, and it's beautiful in its own way, more stark but beautiful nonetheless. I love all seasons, but I think fall really used to be my favorite season, and now it's hard for me to pinpoint it. I never really liked spring as much because spring is very beautiful. That's when a lot of flowers and all the fresh greens bust out. But I've always been so busy in spring that it's been hard for me to enjoy that beauty. And maybe that's just my fault. Maybe I just need to stop and take time and look around and enjoy the beauty of spring more. We'll see how it goes this year. And of course, summer. Summer is so hot, and I prefer the cooler weather to the heat, because I can put on enough to stay warm most of the time, but I cannot take off enough to stay cool. I usually stay so hot in the summer. That makes summer not quite my favorite season, just because I'm always trying to beat the heat. Always trying to preserve something or take care of something or somebody that's out in the heat, and it seems just like a lot of work. It's a lot of fun things to do, but it's also a lot of work for me in the summer. But let me know if you get a chance down in the comments what season you like. And of course, if you made it this far through the video, I appreciate you being here. I always appreciate you being here. And I ask you, if you've not subscribed, to go ahead and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, share. Watch my video. Let somebody else know about it. Comment. Let me know what you think. If you've got something to say it in the comments. Always keep it kind and respectful. We wouldn't expect anything less from our viewers, but for you to be kind and respectful. And I'll try to do the same for you. Keep it kind and respectful back. I thank you for joining me today. And like always, until next time.